The numbers of insured commercial banks in the United States for the years provided are shown in the table below. Remember, whenever you provided years, that's your X value. Your Y value is also already provided. X's are always your L1. Y's would be your L2. Marlene. Okay? When you're given years, the first year you're given is going to be year 0. So how do you determine the other years? It's the years past 1987. So 1998 is 1 year past. This would be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Because 1996 is 9 years past 1987. Okay. Instead of rounding, what we're going to do is we're going to use the exact value since that's what we've been practicing. So please do second plus 712. Okay, then find the stat key and press enter. The L1s will be what represents the years. So I'm going to start with 0 and continue plugging in the numbers until I reach 9. Then I'm going to go to L2, and I'm going to plug in the Y's, which represents the number in terms of thousands of banks that are insured commercial banks. So this is 13.7, 13.12, 12.71, 12.34, 11.92, 11.46, 1096, 1045, 997, and 953. Oh, thank you. So it looks like I plugged it in right, but I may have said it wrong. I just want to make sure all my values are correct before we move forward. Okay, so once I have all the values in, you're going to hit second and quit, second and quit. Now we want to find the best fit line, but before we can do that, let's look what these data points look like. So hit Windows. The smallest value I have is 0. Okay, that number is below, it's minimum, it's below 0, we're good. The largest number I have is 9. That's really close to 9. Let's bump that up to 20. So my X's 0 to 9 falls within this range. The Y's go from 13, let's go down here, goes from 953 all the way up to 1370. So 953, okay, that's below 953, but let's go to 10 and let's bump it up to 20. So I know the range of Y's falls within this. Now let's see those points. Hit the blue button and above it says stat plot, blue and stat plot. Now hit enter, which is in the bottom right hand corner twice. Now go across the top to graph and press graph, and you'll see our points. So our calculator is going to come up with the best fit line here, like the average of these points. To do that, find the button that says stat, go across to calculate, go down to number 4. Number 4 represents linear regression. And for me, I'm going to have to enter like 4 or 5 times. Most of you will only have to enter twice. So I'm going to keep hitting enter for myself until I get calculation. Do you have the same answer that I do? Okay, so we want to take this exact answer. Ms. Castro, do you have it? Mm-hmm. We want to take this exact answer and we want to graph it. Hit Y equals. It's like I'm going to copy and paste in a Word document. So to do that, hit the button that says VARS and go down to 5, which is statistics, and press enter. VARS, again, down to statistics. Now go across to EQ for the equation and press enter. This is the exact equation. Now hit graph. I'm going to repeat those steps again in case I lost you. It's going to go VARS, statistics, then go across to EQ for equation and press enter, and then graph the function. Yes, no? Okay, we've done all the hard stuff. Let's answer the question. Okay, so the first one says we want to predict the number of commercial banks. Which X or Y represents the number of commercial banks? Which variable represents the number of commercial banks? X or Y? Y. We want to find Y when we know, hold on here, predict what year, I did not read it clear enough, predict what year commercial banks goes below 7,000. So let's find out. 7,000 is the Y. We want to know in what year does that occur. It's much easier when you're given the X and you find the Y. When you need to find X, go back and hit Y equals. And now you may be wondering, why am I not going to plug in 7,000? And here's the reason why. In thousands. So 7,000 in thousands is just the number 7. So type in the number 7. Now 7 is your Y value. Go back and hit Windows. Does 7 fall within this Y range? Is 7 between negative 10 and 20? Hit graph. We want to know when do those two intersect. So here's the 4 strokes that's going to give us the answer. Hit the blue key, which is second, and trace. Once again, blue key and trace. Go down to intersect, which is number 5. We're going to be able to calculate exactly where do they intersect and get the answer. When it says first curve, look at the very top. That's that best fit line. Use this arrow to get as close as you can with still seeing it to where they intersect. So I'm not going to get too close, but pretty close to where they intersect. And then I'm going to hit enter one time. The directions now say second curve, which represents the second equation we plugged in. Press enter again. Now go over top of where they intersect. Press enter. This is our answer. What does this mean? So I'm going to write x equals 14.55. 14.55. Now I want you to come up here and draw an arrow to 1987. If you add 14 to 1987 on your calculator, what value do you end up with? If you add 14 on to 1987, what value do you end up with? So I'm going to press clear and try. 1987 plus 14 equals 2001. So 0.5 is halfway. A little more than halfway through the year 2001, the number of insured commercial banks hit 7,000. We know by looking at our graph it's going downwards. So in which year can we assume, that it goes below 7,000? And it would be at the end. I'm okay with 2 answers because it's kind of confusing. You need to specify at the end, or the second half is even better, of 2001, or I know for sure in 2002 it will be below that. What you could just say is 2001, because we know at 2001 at the beginning it's going to be above 7,000. It hits 7,000 midway through and then continues to go down, and we want to know when does it drop below. Okay, much easier will be the second part. Predict how many insured commercial banks exist in 2015. So they're giving us the year, but I can't write 2015. Can you guys tell me how many years is 2015 past 1987? How many years is 2015 past 1987? 20 what? 28? Yep. So I'm going to say x equals 28. I want to figure out the y. It's so much easier when you know the x and you're trying to figure out the y. Hit Windows, please. Is 28 included in this range from negative 10 to 20? Is 28 in between here? Okay, let's bump it to 30 then. We just have to make sure that whatever I'm plugging in is in there. So I'm changing the x max to 30 and I'm hitting graph. Now this is easy. You ready? Hit second, trace, value. I'm going to do it again. Second, trace, value. Second, trace, value. Type in 28. So in the year 2015, now we need to say, what does this represent? Please put a box around this. Take this and draw an arrow to the word that says thousands. Okay? It's this many thousands banks exist. So the pretty way to do this is to type into your calculator 0.8329, however numbers you want to go past it. Take it times 1,000. And we can say that approximately 830, let's round, and 33, 833 insured commercial banks would exist in the year 2015. Why did I take it times 1,000? Because it says that number is within thousands.